Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good time of day. Welcome to Home Sweet Kersh, episode 13. Welcome all. I have some players. I'll start directly above me. Who are you and what do you do that makes you part of this game?
I'm introduced. I'm playing Hallgold Wolfswifts. I'm a human rogue, and I play. Oh, I bring the intelligence into the group. Well, probably not, but
I'm Hall playing a human fighter, Hall.
I am Surtur playing Gruntles, the angry little kobold ranger that everybody loves to pick up.
I'm Satet, a half-elf cleric of Rhea, and I really don't bring anything to the group. I just run behind and wonder what I missed.
All right, who wants to sum up what happened last time? I'm going to start appointing people if nobody volunteers. All right, Zerter, you get nominated.
We started last session with basically agreeing to do Aurora's job of killing Borghild. Did some shopping and shipping, I would classify it as. Minor legwork in Orkland before we left. And about a good third, maybe between a third and a half of the session, was a lot of whispers or stuff happening away from each other, where I only know what happened to me, which is I met with my sister and got reassured that this might be the best course of action. We met up in the Kobold village after Hollock got the dream from Aurora that we had to drink or get drunk in the village to get to the Feywild. Spent a month in the Feywild trying to catch up to Borghild, but we were unable to because Aurora had promised her a safe passage. So if we had caught up to her in the Feywild, she would have broken her word.
Also, unicorns are jerks.
Yes, as Satet says, the unicorns are apparently jerks. Exiting the Feywild on the other side, we arrived at a very cold place, a large building. Unsure if it's a storehouse or just some sort of barracks or something. But we entered, we destroyed what was remaining of Borghild's posse and rushed through the building towards where we figured the fighting was, just in time to help end Borghild's existence. That's where we cut off.
All right. The two figures in the room, a smaller human female and a large burly male. Look at the 3-4 of you that they can see, and the female turns to her companion and says, "Wait, I don't think they're with her." Well, for one thing, they were trying to kill her, but for another thing, they don't seem to be hostile. And she kind of relaxes a little bit.
to note, Gruntos in his adrenaline rush is still short at the ready, like not aggressive but ready if anything moves.
All right. The other figure kind of raises his eyebrow at her, but kind of goes from that ready to hit somebody with his giant bat of a mace to kind of half stead down, but he's standing very close to you, Gronthos, kind of uncomfortably close. He seems to be trying to like inch you backwards away from the center of the room.
We come in
I'm
peace.
Standing fast but relaxing on the arm, on the blade arm.
You come in, so the gentleman responds to you in a voice that sounds like it has 3 or more voices behind it. He says, "You come in peace, but violence surrounds you."
We were only after Borhild.
He looks over at the body on the floor and kind of gestures to her with a question on his face.
Yeah, that one.
How do you know of her?
She contacted us to give her safe passage. We didn't know where and how. We just did our job back then. And later we learned that it wasn't a good idea and that we needed to hunt it down.
The gal looks at you and says, "Not a good idea." No, it was not a good idea. This is the closest one of these creatures has made it in a century. And the last one to make it this close, there were 30 of them. And there is but one.
Have you considered locking your doors?
She kind of motions at the doors that you guys came through. And they were like wooden doors, but like heavily built. And they have heavy locks in them, operatable from the inside only, from this side only, essentially. I think, and the gentleman says to you guys, she may have had an easier time coming through the walls than she did through the doors, although I believe she was in a bit of a rush.
What are you guarding here? What is this place?
The gal says, it's a geode, sort of. And she steps back away a little bit. In the center of a room is a 4 foot tall, 3 or 4 foot tall, looks just like a rock, but you can see in the places where Borghild struck it, you can kind of see cracks toward the inside. Looking in it, you can see the inside is a geode with a very large open space in it, and there's a glow coming from the center of it. The gal bows to you and says, it is a trap for her kind. A lure. Her kind find it irresistible and always return here to retrieve it, I guess you would say.
So does that hold like their souls in there, or it's just like mouse bait?
It's mouse bait, I suppose. It is full of iron. A solid block of some weight.
That makes sense. Okay, we got it.
The stone itself acts as a sort of amplifier. Well, how well do you know your history, child?
Not history of iron.
Yes. How well do you know your goddess? Give me a knowledge religion, please, Satet. Oh, yeah, with the 25. As you look this thing over, you remember legends about the rebirth of your goddess. There were magical artifacts encased inside geodes that basically trapped the gods and the all of the good gods. About 220, 230, 200 something years ago, they were released after the artifacts had been destroyed. From like the images you've seen, like the drawings and stuff like that, this geode looks basically identical to the geodes that house the artifacts.
Does my spear talk to me or know anything?
Your spear. What question of it do you have?
Well, I'm just wondering if it knows, like, is that geo? Would it have an artifact in it, or is it afraid of it, or anything?
You're getting the impression from your spear that yes, there is an artifact inside of this thing. It's not afraid of it or anything like that. But yeah, you can definitely sense there's an object of great power inside of this geode. It's not like evil or good or anything. It's just incredibly powerful.
What
What's that?
what would have happened if Warcade had cracked it open?
The gal looks at you and says, well, there is a good chance that she would have taken the iron that's inside of it to make more of her kin, and also there would no longer be the draw, and so any future seekers that were created would not be drawn here anymore, and they could spread like the plague that they were.
Are there many like her in this world, or in any of the worlds? Like, are they rare? Are they hunted?
So many years ago, this place was created to draw them all in. At the time, we were attacked by hundreds, and then tens, and then over time, the attacks have grown smaller and smaller. The last attack was 100 years ago, and when the gentleman says this, the gal kind of makes a hurt face or a sad face. Kind of, you see emotions crossing over her face, but she covers it back over pretty well. But we had thought, since there were no more attacks, that they were gone. As you move to do that, Grunthos, the gentleman kind of steps in front of you and prevents you from getting at her body. And he says to you, take care. Those pierced by her, if you are pierced by her spikes, you may lose your mind. And then he lets you get to the body.
So her minions, I think they were ogres? Orcs? I don't remember. Orcs.
Orcs
Yep.
and half-orcs.
So there's a like 3-4 orcs and half orcs that came with her that they are still alive, but they are subdued out in the halls. What would you like to do with them?
They kind of look at each other and then say, "Please please lock them in one of the rooms." The gal says, "Please lock them in one of the rooms. We will question them later."
Okay, I'm gonna leave and go start rounding them up.
I go with him and help and fetch my bow
All
when
right.
we are at the entrance.
So Dorify, the guy that you did not knock out, you find probably 15 or 20 feet outside of the front entrance, kind of standing out there looking off in the distance, and he is not wearing clothing to travel any great distances here. And when he sees you come up like the hall through the outside, he turns around and shakes his head and starts coming back in. The other three look like they have been like rearranged to be more comfortable, but not otherwise disturbed. It doesn't look like Dorify was strong enough to do much with them.
Hollock, will you help me put them in this room with basketballs?
Those are tables.
Yeah, sure.
I have the tools I have to work with. But yeah, that's like a dining hall type space. Tables and chairs and plates and candles and so on and so forth.
That doesn't seem like a good place to store them because there's probably silverware and knives, right?
Yeah, there's all variety of stuff. Like on shelves on the wall, there's stacks of plates and silverware and knives and so on and so forth.
Yeah, let's move into one of the rooms with beds.
Sure.
Right, you guys move them into the bedroom. The three that were knocked out are non-protesting. With a little bit of like shaking, you can wake them up and lead them, but they realized they had been bested. I mean, they all went down twice. And Dorify is basically allows himself to be led back into the place. There's a noticeable draft flowing through here. Closing the front door cuts it off, though. Just there's lots of fireplaces, but it's not easy to keep this place warmed against the many degrees below freezing outside.
The one that I tried to charm, the one closest, was that?
Yep.
I will tell her that in the heat of the battle, I tried to charm you to make sure you don't attack us. So you might feel that wearing off.
Let me do that. She kind of blinks at you a couple times. Looks like she's trying to shake it off, but is still under the effect. The other gentleman, helps Grunthos helps you move the body away from the center of the room, actually out into the hallway.
What is she carrying?
So, in her right hand were 3 iron spikes, probably that long, maybe, so probably 6 inches long, 6-8 inches long. At the tip end, there are a spike. So it's a spike, so it's a cone all the way back. There's a flat head on them. Total weight of about 1 pound. Through her left eye, you see another one of these flat plates. And as you move her around, her head kind of goes off the side. Coming out the back of her head is the other end of this spike. In her...
Are they removable by any chance?
Give me a strength roll. So not through her hand, she's holding them. So yes, you can hold on to the spikes. Give me a strength check if you want to try to remove the one from her eye. So you kind of twist and pull, and the sound of this thing coming out of her eye socket is disturbing. It's kind of that sound. When you get the thing all the way out, her body, like her chest rises, and there's a great shudder that passes through her, and then she's still again. On her person, on the rest of her person, you find in assorted bags and pouches another. Let's see, 3. So another. Math hard. Total of 13 half pounds. Minus 3 half pounds is minus 6 half pounds, so 7 half pounds left. So 4.5 pounds of iron. But it's all separated out like in bags that are not. It's not all together in one place. Her bandages are each held on by a single spike, probably a half-inch long, probably about an inch long, with a flat head that basically holds it onto her person. And they like pierce her skin, so it's being held physically to her. The cloth is being held physically to her body.
I think I'm good. I've got 8.5 pounds of iron. I think that's some amount of money.
Some.
Is she made of iron? So could we smelt her?
She is, by all appearances, once the spike is removed from her eye, completely human. Soft, squishy flesh.
Hence the
Yeah.
sound when I remove the spike. 4 spikes of 1 pound each, I think he said.
And then a further 4.5 pounds.
Of assorted in small pouches.
Yeah, small pouches, all dust. You guys, after a while, Borghild is, the body is put outside, the cloths are removed and folded up, but her body is basically set outside the door, and after a while, the gal introduces herself as Isabel, and the guy introduces himself. He says that his title is Diva. Satet, there's no fooling you. This guy's an angel, and that is his rank, or his type, I guess you would say. But they kind of gather you guys up over in the conference room. By now, Horgold, your spell has worn off.
I think you can drag us to where you want us to be.
Okay. The diva heals any wounds you guys have. So, if you're injured at all, go ahead and heal up. Everybody else, I'll go ahead and drag them over here too. So the diva looks at you. and says, so if she was your employer, why are you chasing after her?
We got a different employer to chase after her after our first job, which she paid us to do, was done. Ex-employer in all senses of the word.
Yeah, and
We also suspect her of murdering people in the town that we were in.
I guess that is a little less mercenary than I was afraid.
She also attacked the Temple of Rhea.
The diva looks at you and smiles and says, "Yes, that would be important."
And she stole our gold.
Brass,
Brass, iron.
iron. There you go. The Isabel. You guys. There's food that they've kind of laid out if you want to eat it. It's probably
sometime around when we're walking to there, I said, "Excuse me," and I went to get my bow.
Yeah. You guys have all your stuff back. Actually, Diva would be... So Diva has left and is doing various tasks around the place. Isabel is with you guys. She is... Her age is indeterminate. What's that?
We can't see the name on the Guardians.
Oh. Well, that's probably on purpose. That. Advanced. C. Haha, save changes. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Diva, yes.
C. Save changes. All right. So Diva heads out to do various tasks around the place. Isabel has kind of an ageless face. You guys can't really determine her age. She is somewhere between young adult and old. What? Anyway, continuing on. And she says, so you said you were employed to help her get here. I mean, teleportation doesn't work. And the trek over the ice kills the vast majority of those coming here.
She tricked us to get passage through the Feywild.
She looks surprised and aghast. And these creatures are usually not that self-directed. Then again, they're usually much more focused. She must have either been very newly converted, or she must be very, very old, and has resisted this the entire time.
I have a question now.
Yes.
She mentioned that whatever was in there would help cure her from what caused her to be as she is.
I doubt that. The only cure for her would be removing the spikes in her. And that would have been lethal. You can't live with a half-inch hole through your brain.
Okay. She must have been lying to us then.
Or quite possible. There's, I mean, the deceit of her would, if she was, old and clever, would not be surprising.
Yeah, she probably was very old, very clever.
And you guys haven't run into any more creatures? Usually, once they have been reborn as seekers, they usually spend as much time in iron as they can creating more of themselves, which is why we usually would fight large groups. This place was situated in a specific way to help thin their numbers before they arrived. After each time that they assaulted us, we would go and track their path back through the ice and recover as many bodies as they're made it to the sanctuary.
This is the only one we know of, but I wouldn't discount that she had more.
It's disturbing.
Pardon the question, but
Yes.
where are we?
You are in the frozen wastes. Do you think we have a she yeah, we can zoom out.
So North Dakota.
She kind of smiles. Very far north. If you know the land of the orcs, we are beyond the reach of their territory, beyond the mountain range, toward the very pole of the planet, very, very northern edge of the planet.
Huh.
Then why did she need to go to the Fey realm to get here?
Because they wouldn't survive the trek through the frozen wastes.
And this place is deifically protected from teleportation. You simply cannot teleport here. You simply cannot teleport within hundreds of miles of here. The places that bring us or supply us with firewood and food, brave the trek once a year, come to the edge of where they can get to, and then bring these stuff about halfway. Diva then goes and collects everything and brings it the rest of the way here. You will not. What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, she kind of smirks at you and says, "Unfortunately, you will not be able to teleport yourself home. We are looking, however, for new helpers. I am the last of the guardians here. Have been for a decade or more.
I would volunteer my service.
I will talk with you of this soon, or I will talk with you of this unless you all wish in private later. This is not an easy place to live, although it is not harsh either. It is just cold. Although, I do say, if you are to remain, you would have to give up the spear that you carry.
I hold it behind my back. What spear?
She chuckles. The spear of iron fire you carry behind you.
Big sigh.
But I don't intend to stay here.
You must have further questions. Let me, what more do you want to know? I would have news of the outside world. I have not been there in, I do not want to think of how long.
Well, pour me a glass of mead and let's have a talk. Is this realm, if it's divinely protected, do the gods work together? Or is it sort of controlled by a god? Or how's that?
This is the divine protection is by the hold on, I gotta find the name. The goddess of diamond. As soon as my notes load.
Basima,
yes. It is her month, in fact. It is. Oh, actually, it's wintertime. You guys haven't seen the sun since you got here. I should have, if I had remembered that. Yeah. Anyway, You came out in full darkness, and it's been a full day, and you have not seen the sun since. Anyway, yes, this place is in the purview of Basima, goddess of night.
What are you going to do with the orcs that came with Borgild?
First, we must examine them to make sure they are not seekers themselves. And if they are found to be clean, we will give them the opportunity to work here, or we will turn them out into the wilderness to find their own way home.
How many people used to be here? If there's only the two of you, have you just died off with no new people?
When I first started, there were 30 of us. And of course, Diva has been here the entire time. As the years went, some moved away, some were killed, some left. Some left with Diva during the monthly shipments and left the area. People had children, had babies, but with such a small population, over time they just dwindled down. And I am the last.
Feels negligent of the gods to leave such small guard here.
She smiles. The gods didn't establish this place, but when this place was established, one person bargained or begged for all that they could from their goddess, and that is what instituted the teleportation protection and the angel that you see here. The goddess at the time was fairly young, fairly newly reborn, and probably could not offer further assistance. As time goes on, Diva has become stronger, but I think that even here in the center of Basima's realm, this is the limit of the power she can project without causing worse disruptions.
Why do the gods care about these seekers?
I do not know that they do, Isabel says. I think that the protection that Basima offers may well be a goddess who is rewarding or has rewarded a basically rewarded a loyal follower. This place was built 200 years ago, is maintained by funds that we do not have. There's wealth here from whenever the Seekers attack, but the last attack was 100 years ago. There's not that much wealth here. I think that somebody out there is supporting us. I do not know how well the goddess can project her power to this realm without any clerics and only an angel here.
Okay, so just on side. So Diva's an angel and Isabel, we don't know what she is?
She is unarmored. She has a lanky frame. She is dexterous, and she fought with her bare fists and feet when Borghild was attacking. But she did not, she didn't cast spells or anything like that.
Will they let me back in the geo room? I just want to go look at it closer and inspect it.
Yeah, with Isabel is willing to take you in there, although she insists on coming with you. She's not going to leave you alone with it. But yes, if you guys want to go back in there, you can.
I'm gonna hold up my spear and ask her if she knows anything about it.
I have heard of it. It was crafted around the same time as this place was established. There was a war between Kersh and the country to its south. And there were 4 spears created. There were 4 spears created by the kingdom of Kartuk, and they turned the tide of battle to prevent the fall of Kersh.
Why would I not be able to retain it if I were to stay here?
She smiles a little bit and then says, "Pray for magical vision. If you cast detect magic, you notice that this place is, with the exception of the geode in the center of the room, everything in this place is completely magically dead. You are used to, lights that are powered by magic, or small spells that help keep insects out of grain. Things like you would expect a place like this to be magically warmed so that it doesn't freeze to death. Instead, you find roaring fireplaces that consume an unbelievable amount of coal, and there's a giant pile nearby of coal that occasionally gets brought in. Some of it gets brought in and shoveled into the fireplaces to keep them going.
So, would my spear die if I were to stay here with it?
No, but Diva would take it somewhere else and let it be free in the world. We cannot have too much magic here, with the exception of the trap in the center. So anything here is to remain non-magical, so that the trap is as undiffuse and focuses the seeker's attention the most, or the strongest.
So if it came back to me, does that mean it loves me after we set it free?
And you would be asked to leave.
So, just a question am I in danger from the Iron Seekers just by having the spear?
If there are others out there, then yes. Although the spear bearers rarely found any danger from the Iron Seekers. Just without numbers, they tend to be fairly weak. This Borghild, as you called her, was surprisingly strong. That was as worried as I've ever seen Diva.
Interesting.
Well, when they are in the geode room, Gruntos is basically just roaming the halls, trying to get an idea of how in disuse this place really is.
So you find the place well kept. You don't find any. It looks like it is well maintained but old. You find like the fireplaces look like they are scrubbed regularly, but just centuries of smoke have tinted the wood a darker color. The night sky when you guys head out is bright and clear, and there is a biting wind. But the exterior of the building looks like it is well maintained against the forces of nature around it. The walls are thick. You're not sure what kind of construction, but the outside is stone of some sort. The roof appears to be designed to help it, not catch the wind. It doesn't look from looking around. You guys are on like a glacier, but you don't see like piles of snow around. It's ice fields. Not this place doesn't get a lot of snow. It's fairly dry from what you can see out here. But in general, the place is old but fairly well kept. You don't see any signs of like it falling apart anytime soon.
The second thing I want to do is start looking at the doors that were burst open and see if I can fix and improve.
Yes, actually. When you tell Diva what you're up to, he gives you a supply of lumber. I don't know what skill that would be, but give me one of your trap-related skills.
I'm trying to
Do.
survival.
Give me
just a strength or dexterity check. Intelligence.
There should be a. All right. So okay. What was that?
Thief tools and stuff like that is always, mostly dexterity based.
Right. So give me a dexterity. I'm seeing what all you have on here.
It should be there are tools you can use, which would, if I'm proficient or not, but it would basically just be an ability check.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a dexterity-based ability check with advantage, and your proficiency bonus.
So +3 to whichever number comes up. 27.
So you spend some time, and you make an elaborate set of devices to both yeah, no kidding. You show Isabel a button you put on the wall in the center room that causes all doors leading to this place to close as a unit and then lock, and you think the locks are much stronger, and the doors are as well reinforced as you can given the supplies. You use bronze cladding and so on and so forth to reinforce the actual door itself. You think it would take okay, so for as hard as Borghild hit, you're pretty sure she could still make it through here, but a man with an axe would probably take an hour per door.
Yep, that would probably take the rest of the day, night, whatever, for me.
That would probably take a day, I would say. A good solid day.
Yep.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
So, is Diva in charge, and Isabel just works with him?
I'm assuming you're asking which one of the two are you asking?
I'm going to talk to Diva. I have some questions.
Diva kind of looks at you and says, Isabel is in charge of this place as much as there needs to be an in charge. With only the two of us remaining, we understand what needs to be done. Who needs to be awake when, who needs to be asleep. We have spent a century together, and we know what to do in this place.
Are you happy here?
My goddess has sent me here, and the will of my goddess makes me pleased.
That's a terrible answer, sir.
He chuckles at you. Yes, I am happy here.
Would it be useful if we made it back to try to recruit people either from your church or another church to help come here and help?
He looks at you and says, he kind of thinks a little bit, and says, I believe it would do Isabel good to have companionship other than my own. I am not human, and so I do not understand everything that she knows. I care for her deeply, but I am not... I care for her deeply. We are friends, but I am not human. I cannot relate to everything that she is.
It probably doesn't help that you win at every board game since you're an angel.
he like laughs, a loud trumpeting laugh, and says, "She is more clever at games than you suspect."
I just smile and nod, say thank you, and then I want to go talk to the orcs after that, but I'll let other people have it.
All right. So Grunthos, you're busy on building. You're kind of focused at this point on building the doors.
I wouldn't even notice if people were trying to get my attention. They would physically have to shake me to get my attention.
Right. Everybody else. So Satet wants to go visit the orcs. What else are you guys doing?
I'm studying. Go ahead. Oh, I'm studying Gruntas building the door and stuff like that. Watching
Right.
his ingenuity.
Satet, you can go ahead and talk to the four of them. At this point, what?
Just a side note for Inter. He might be able to notice that Gruntos meant what he said when he said he could improve his door system.
Horgold, give me your streetwise, whatever that is. Insight check? Give me an insight check. With advantage, we'll say. So 17. Yeah, you're thinking that this little lizard man is quite adept at mechanisms. More so than you would have suspected, considering he is a wild and woody character. All right, so Satet, you enter the room with the four of them. Say the two men are asleep and the two gals are sitting up and talking to each other quietly. As you open the door, they kind of quiet like stop their conversation and look over at you.
As I walk in, I want to do this, and can I make myself just be brighter, like innocent, safe, happy light?
Yeah, sure. You can. Absolutely, that seems right in line with the rest of that spell. So warmth, happy light sort of thing.
Yeah, just to create a trustworthy. They don't need to be afraid.
So Grusha and Marina, who by now you've learned their names, look up at you and so what are you going to do with us?
It's not my choice. It'll be the people who run here. But I'd like to talk with you and help you if I can. How did you meet Borg?
Over the last little while, she has been recruiting people in town, with promises of great wealth, and she has been spending, to match those promises, and so she basically paid us to gather up. She had gathered everybody together and arrived at the cave in a panic. She had us start gathering up that night, basically, and she had hired. We're thinking that she had hired about 25 of us, but only around 20 of us were there, and she arrived in a panic and said that we had to leave immediately, and she told us how to pass through the portal, whatever she used to travel into that other place.
Do you know what she was?
Marina kind of looks at you, shakes her head. We knew she was powerful and wealthy. We do not know what she was. She had, when she arrived with bloody clothes but uninjured, I figured she was some sort of cleric.
She was an Iron Seeker and she attacked the town. That's why you had to leave so soon, so abruptly.
They look at each other kind of worried and said, she never did anything like that around us. We Orkland's our home.
If they know that you joined with her, you may be wanted back in Orkland. There may be an alternative. If you chose to stay here and help, I could help get message to your families, assuming you had some.
I know Grusha has a family. Big. She kind of indicates the big guy sleeping, like snoring heavily on the bed. The others, I mean, parents and siblings. Not many of us had children. I think Grusha may be the only one. I don't think he will want to stay. But I mean,
it's each of you to have your own choice, but as I said, you may not be welcome back in Orkland once they know that you helped, and it is likely they will know by now. But feel free. I'm going to go for now, but feel free to summon me and talk to me. I will help you in any way I can, as I'm sure that you are mostly innocent in this, or at least fooled enough to not know what danger you had brought with everyone.
Give me a charisma check, please, Satet.
I have really good charisma, but I bet I'm going to fail this.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Perception.
Yep. Persuasion. I didn't say with advantage, but I think I'll give it to you just because you did set it up right. And they seem to trust you. And as you're closing the door, they're talking amongst themselves. Again, probably a little more animatedly. But if the door is closed, you can't really hear anything through it.
I'm just going to go back to the basketball room and have some food.
So the evening wears on. You guys are shown to beds that you can stay in. The door the doors, as Gronthos works his way out from the center of the area, the doors to it are locked, and the door that the four are in. Well, okay, let me put it this way. Isabel heads in and talks to the four people in the room, and then when she leaves, she unlocks the door, or she leaves the door unlocked after her. But at this point, it is well into after you guys normally would have gone to bed. It's really hard to see because outside it is just as dark. Like the stars are moving strangely. They are rotating around. They're rotating around the central star in the north. That it's not directly overhead. It's still towards the north of you guys. But like they don't go below the horizon like you expect. You know, stars rise in the east and set in the west. Around here, stars close to the horizon continue rotating around the horizon. Stars towards the top of the sky rotate around the top of the sky. You are north of the whatever line that's called.
Is there an aurora?
Occasionally, yes. Yes, there is. Flickering
Totally gonna
green.
take pictures with my phone and
Right?
post on Instagram.
All right. The 20s are unfortunate. This is just because these rolls aren't very important. So that's why you guys are rolling so well. The next day, you were served breakfast. It looks like after a short conversation, everybody except for Grusha is willing to stay here. Grusha is looking out to the occasionally he heads out to the door and then comes back in and says, not that cold outside. I can last. Give Grusha enough food. Grusha walks the distance. And Isabel and Diva are, we'll call it skeptical looking.
Yeah, but if we talk about leaving, how can we leave?
Maybe if we all traveled together.
How often do supply runs get here?
So the next supply run will be the height of summer, 6 months from now, essentially. Basically, the weather is mildest during the summer, and so that is when the supply runs are. Calendar. So it is currently the 22nd of Diamond by Isabel's reckoning. It would be like the supply run actually arrives at its halfway point, probably the 28th of Ruby or the 1st of Carnelian. So basically it's midsummer.
Holoker, are we sure that if we went back to where we got into this area, that we couldn't go back into the Fey realm?
We could probably go back, but there's no guaranteed safe passage.
How did we get out? Was it a fey ring? I don't remember.
Yeah, there was a fey ring, a naturally formed fey ring.
Okay. But I think we did not bargain any things for our return. And I can't quite remember what Aurora specified for after we killed Borghild. I think she just wanted her dead.
Maybe you could use your boon to return.
I don't have a boon like you guys.
He was the one that didn't get it because he just got released from his apple vow.
Give me an intelligence check, everybody.
With my -1.
Holy Holocall. Well, this is completely fitting. Holoc, you think that somebody's boon, if you guys got past the teleportation area or the teleportation ban, you probably could use the boon to get everybody out, basically by copying a boon, by copying a teleportation spell. The trick then would be to get outside of the area covered by the ban. With a 20, you think that the Feywild is not on the same plane as the world, and so that would probably be good enough.
So basically, we enter the Fey and then teleport out?
Right.
Do we know how to make a teleport spell? Or do Isabel or Diva know how to do that?
Diva would know, but would not know how to open the fairy ring. Isabel would not know, or does not know, anything about it. Marina? She thinks she might be able to open the fairy ring. She is got a spell book, a pointy hat, classic signs. She's a wizard.
So that sounds like a plan then.
What about you three? I say, looking at the other 3 orcs. Are you choosing to stay here, or are you going to try to go?
We have decided to stay, at least for now. Diva has said that he would help us leave with the yearly supply if we find this place intolerable. If we worked, basically, if we worked for the sanctuary until then. Basically, if we leave before then, we are on our own. But if we work for the sanctuary until then, our debt will be paid, and he would help us leave, or at least get to the drop off point.
Minor thing I posted in Discord. Teleport is same plane of existence.
Aha. So
But
still a problem, perhaps.
No, there is a spell that does it. I'm not sure if anyone knows of it.
Plane
shift.
Let me look that one up. That should be able to be covered by the boon as well.
If the boon is basically a wish, plane shift is still a level
lower
7 spell.
Okay, so yes, it could do it. And Marina would let you know that. She's enough of a wizard to be familiar with, but not be able to cast that sort of thing. All right. What is your guys' plan?
Well, I guess we try to enter the Fae and try to get home.
All right. Shoot.
If everybody else agrees.
Grusha,
I don't want to stay.
Grusha looks at you guys, and Grusha can come with you, right?
Why did you want to stay here like your friends?
My daughter needs me.
What do you guys think? Can I take her?
Him. Grusha.
Oh, him?
Very him. Or no, Grusha is... No, Grusha is her. Right. Grusha's her. Sorry, my brain reset.
No problems for me.
Um... Horgold? Marina, when you guys agree to take Grusha along with you, Marina hands you a pair of bracers, bracers of armor, and says, they told me that I could not keep them here anyway. Take these with you to take back as thank you for helping our friend.
Just curious, whose boon were you going to use?
Can use mine. Rentos wants to go home.
I have a very important question for you, Grunthos.
Yeah.
All of that iron dust, do you still have it all? And what did you do with it?
I kept it separate.
Oh.
I didn't take it out of the pouches. I just took the pouches.
I think Isabel stops you as you guys are getting prepared to leave, and says, the Seeker's wealth should remain to pay for the upkeep of this place. Can I have it, please? So the question is, how much are you going to give her, and are you going to try to lie about it?
I give her 7.5 pounds, but I don't try to hide the fact that I'm keeping a pound. This is payment for us for wrongdoings that she has done in Orkland.
Okay. Are you keeping one of the spikes or the dust?
I'm thinking a piece of is the dust in like half-pound pouches or quarter-pound pouches or something?
Yeah, probably about quarter-pound pouches.
I'll keep 4 of those.
'Kay.
Spikes will remain.
I need a d20 roll from you.
Any particular skill?
Nope, just straight d20. All right. You hand back. Actually, give me now that you've done that, give me a perception check, please. Perfect. You hand back the iron, and you guys head out to the fairy ring, with Grusha in tow. And as you guys get far enough away, and Grusha kind of looks at you and says, you kept it, right? You kept the money?
Some of it. And I go check. I'm guessing I don't feel any find the pouches.
No, yep, you still have your 4 quarter pounds.
I inspect. Is it grain or something?
No, it is not. It is still iron.
Okay.
So you guys get to the fairy ring. Marina looks at the fairy ring. She kicks it a couple times. She tries casting various spells. The day question mark passes on, and then she looks at you guys and goes, I got nothing. I don't know how to tell you to pass into it. I think you need a closer connection to the Fae than I have to get to the other side.
I step in and try to speak the same activate phrase we got from Bargill in Orkland.
Nothing happens.
No.
She kind of looks at you all and says, do you guys do have a connection? I'm assuming you have some sort of connection to the Fae since you were able to follow us.
It's more like I call you and not we call back kind of thing. And maybe the magic here in this place prevents from us from being called, so no reception area. But I can try tonight, maybe when I sleep, hopefully.
Actually, I'm going to step aside 10, 20 paces and sit down and start praying to Daha.
Daha.
For guidance. Grasping the holy symbol my sister gave me.
Give me a wisdom check, please.
Straight wisdom, not religion.
Religion actually would be great. You're praying, essentially.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, your religion is a -1. Is that better or worse than your wisdom?
I have a...
Okay, either way, it's good enough.
Religion is intelligence-based. Wisdom is +2.
Fair. Horgold, there ain't nothing living out here except for you guys. You get the feeling, you get the impression back from Daha that Horgold might have a way.
I have?
Not Horgold, Hollock. Why there's so many H names? Sorry, no, wrong. Hollock might have a way.
Yeah, I was assuming, but Gruntos was kind of fishing for something not necessarily in doing with Aurora. But okay, yep. I get back to the group and just look at Hollock. Just half empty eyes looking at Hollock.
Well, I don't have a direct plan how to contact her. I don't think I can just close my eyes and call her name, but I will try.
Do you actually literally just try that? I want close your eyes and call her. All right. Have you rolled for your number of thingy uses today yet? Please do so if you haven't. So you had one use. Now you have no uses. But the fairy ring lights up with purple fairy fire when you do so, and it is bright and heatless fire. It is almost blinding as dark as it is out here.
Why does it need to be heatless? We're starving from cold here.
How far away from the, I don't know, the fortress, the castle, house, whatever it is, are we? Like a day's walk?
Probably about an hour, hour and a half. It's kind of hard walking since it's mixture of like small pebble snow or ice, that kind of like walking through sand, and then not really slick ice, but definitely icy surfaces. It is probably 10 to 15 below 0 Celsius. Probably 0-ish to 5 below-ish Fahrenheit. I don't really know conversions in my head very well. So it is cold. You guys have been given like a blanket to throw over your shoulders. But it's that kind of cold. The wind isn't really blowing, but it's that kind of cold that just cuts through your clothing.
Can I get a sideboard with you?
Absolutely. Just give me a second. Yep, what's up?
I feel like with my character that he's lost his direction,
Okay.
and I feel like he would want to stay here.
I am perfectly okay with that. We can, if you want to stay here, that is absolutely something that is available to your character. We can work out creating a new character for you. I guess if you wanted to take Grusha or somebody else, that's fine. We can work that out. No, absolutely. That is perfectly acceptable, and it does fit your character.
Would it be, I guess, is there a way that, say my character went back, that he could hook up with the group that brings supplies and just come with them, I don't know, in 6 months?
If you had talked to Diva about where they come from and stuff, then yes, absolutely. You would be able to get to where they start and then follow them out here.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like at this time with my character, the way it would fit is I think I'll just give my spear to Grunthos
Okay.
and say my goodbyes and go back.
All right. I will let you handle that in character in the main chat. So yes, that absolutely works.
Okay. Everyone, I have something I want to say.
Okay.
I feel like they can use my help here, and I don't really have anything to go back to at this time. I just feel like I have been aimless, and my goddess would want me to help protect this place, at least for a while. So I think I'm not going to go back with you.
Sad to hear that. I think you're fun to be with.
I want you to take this and take care of it, and then I hand you my.
Me?
Grunthos, when you take the spear, you get probably a baritone male voice in your head that says hello, and you are instantly attuned to it.
It's a fine spear and a great friend. Take care of it. Take care of each other.
Yeah, the spirit +3 thing.
Yeah. That is all of the activated abilities, or that's all of the things that you can use for right now.
Yeah. I need to do something. I like to pop out my character sheet, and popping out character sheet does not like to add stuff to it. So I had to pop it back in.
Marina kind of looks at you with surprise, Satet, and says, well, it's good that there will have more company, I suppose. But are you sure? They seem to, you guys helped them out. They were helping you to get out of here.
I believe that this is the right path for me at this time.
She nods. I don't think there's anything else I can help you guys out with here. I will go back and let Isabel know.
Yep. Thanks, and stay safe, Satat.
Yeah, see you, Sadat. Sorry to hear that you're leaving the party.
Best of luck, gentlemen. It's been fun.
We'll keep in touch.
Best luck to you too. Keep warm.
I take the spear, just thump it in the ground, like sort of like a greeting or a goodbye thing, and step backwards into the Fey ring.
When you step through the Fey ring, you arrive at the other side. To everybody else's perspective, Grunthos disappears once he crosses fully into the ring.
I follow him through.
All right.
Yeah, same.
You guys are... That would be wrong, Horgold, and you should feel bad. All right, anything. You guys are through to the other side.
I'm guessing Grusha came along too?
Yes, Grusha. Yes, absolutely. Grusha came along. She is looking around, and kind of looks at you guys and goes, "This place not nearly so mean as last time I was here."
Mm.
It will get there.
All right. So
I wish to cast plane shift to Orkland.
All right. Again, take all the people with you.
Yep.
So as you are doing this, everybody give me a perception check. I will do one for Grusha as well. Just to see if she notices something. Oh, no, she absolutely does not. On the other hand, Hollock does, and so does Grunthos. Satet, you aren't there, so never mind. Horgold. There's not internet weirdness, right?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Horgold, perception check, please.
I did one.
You did?
I got a 2.
You rolled a 2.
Oh, I completely missed that. All right. So Hollock and Grunthos, as Grunthos is completing his. You don't know how you know how to do this, Grunthos, but you're like, oh, all I gotta do is make this motion and say these things, and this is how I get to where I want to go. And there's kind of a blue fairy fire that builds up around you as you do it. Purple is her color. Purple fairy fire that kind of builds up around you as you do it. And as you're completing it, like saying the last arcane phrase, you guys see 3 unicorns cresting a ridge near you. And then as they see like you doing these motions, they like get wide-eyed and they start charging at you. And then you vanish and you find yourself sitting at a table at the Snorting Boar. All 4 of you.
Stupid unicorns.
Why do you keep on these unicorns?
So that isn't here. But it's back in the North Pole.
All right.
As I land and I figure out where I am, I just thunk the spear I'm holding Beer!
Satet, what do you want to do for a character for now? We can work out a longer term plan, for like future sessions. But what do you want to do for a character for now? Grusha is here, as would level up to a level 6 barbarian if you want to keep that longer term. She is female half orc barbarian. Other than that, I'm open to ideas. I'd like to keep you in the game for the rest of the day if possible, or if you don't want to, that's also works.
No, I can run Grusha. My inner self anyway is a female half orc barbarian, so
That totally fits. So she for the purposes of this, shouldn't matter very much. She has a +1 breastplate, and she's a half orc barbarian. I mean, if we somehow manage to get to conflict, we'll figure out numbers from there. But all right. So Grusha, or I guess I should let you run her. She lives in Orkland, in the kind of poorer part of town. She has a daughter, probably 6, and her husband works at the docks. She works as a guard from time to time. And I'll let you run with her from there.
thank you for help. And then I just leave and head home to see my children, or my daughter.
Come sit with us, have a beer at least.
Very well, I owe you that.
The barkeep kind of snorts awake from behind the bar and goes, "Grontos, why are you back in the middle of night?"
Why do you close?
Patrons all leave?
We just arrived.
Fine, beer. And he like gets and goes to pour beers, and as you guys, like, there's nobody else around to like serve them to you. When you guys go up to the bar, you realize he has poured you the small glasses of beer that he always gives to Grunthos, and he is back behind the bar snoring.
I thunk my fist in the bar, wave a brass piece in front of his eyes, and I say, "Big."
And I growl because I don't understand the joke.
he looks at Grusha, and then he looks at Grunthos, or not? Yeah, he looks at Grusha and then looks at Grunthos, and big, right? And he just sets 4 large, like the normal sized tankards, right behind the small ones, and then he lays back down. And then like 2 minutes later, he like gets up and starts like washing the bar, and he looks like he's awake now.
In between him falling asleep after pouring the big ones, I balance the brass coin on top of his head.
Give me a dexterity check, please.
Sleight of hand?
Sure, absolutely.
It won't make a difference, but...
I got nothing. It balances there until he like snorts awake, and then it falls falls into like covering up his left eye. Everybody make a wisdom saving throw quick.
What is my wisdom?
It's a -1. You have an 8. I have an 8 on Grusha's sheet for wisdom. Yeah, that's fine. Hollock, you have kind of a shuddering memory of like a flash of the attacks that Borghild would send at you guys. But it passes as the guy like shakes his head a little bit, and the coin falls on the ground, tinkles beside his ear. And you guys have your large and small tankards of beer.
Would I know as Grusha what that was?
Uh, yeah. So you saw Borghild with the iron spike in her eye when she was basically panicked, and you guys headed through. You also saw her, like, you guys were attacked at some point on the path and killing off some of the people who were following her, and you saw her just eviscerate several satyrs, like tear them into shreds with very little effort. So you weren't on the receiving end of her attacks, but you know what she, or knew what she could do. But this doesn't affect you, like, doesn't cause a fright at all. Just has a momentary remembrance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, drinking up.
I double fist the small glass and big glass. Just pour it in.
All right, you guys are.
Thank you for bringing me back. I will come back another day and say thank you again.
No
You're
problem.
welcome.
Will I find you here tomorrow or day after?
Evening time, most likely.
I'm just nodding, and then I'll wave and I will walk out and head home.
All right. You arrive at your house. In it's by looking at the sky, it's like maybe 3 a.m. And you let yourself in. And you find your husband asleep in bed. Do you wake him up, or do you get in bed? Try to sneak into bed.
I check to make sure my daughter's safe.
Daughter
And then
is
I will just
sleeping well and quietly.
Then I will just sneak into bed.
Your dexterity is a +1. Give me a dexterity check, please.
Like, you just want me to roll d20s for that?
Yeah, just roll d20s. Sure. So you managed to get in the bed with your husband, and he doesn't really notice. You don't wake him up, but he kind of does that whole roll over and puts his hand on your shoulder, and you both fall asleep and sleep through the rest of the night.
I fart contentedly. Go to sleep.
Sure. Horgold, you head to your house and arrive, and the place is like kept up and swept as if somebody has been through here while you were away. A quick check of the place doesn't find like anything stolen or out of place. It just looks like somebody came through, cleaned up, tidied up, swept the floor, sort of thing.
Does this happen often?
No, but you've never been gone for a month before. You've never noticed anything like this happening before.
I just indeed check the house if everything is missing, and if somebody is here, and then I'll just head to bed, I guess.
There's nothing missing, and you don't find anybody here.
Then I'll just go to sleep.
Hollock, you head as well. Give me a perception check, please. Hollock, there's somebody in your house, sleeping in your, like, living room type place. You have like, you know, those reclining type chairs, or those day beds. There we go. Words are hard. You see somebody in there, sleeping.
Do I recognize him or her?
With a 20, it looks like Lupe.
Ah, I get breakfast in the morning.
Do you try to leave them sleep? Leave her sleep as you come into the house?
I can try.
It'd be dexterity stealth check. Yeah, that's about right. So you open your front door and sneak, close your front door, sneak, trip, loud noise, and Lupe, like, she starts awake and she looks around. She goes, "I wasn't sleeping. Who's there?"
Don't panic. Just me.
Do you know how long you've been gone?
No.
We were starting to get worried about you.
Time works strange in the Fey realm.
Yeah, we should talk about the whole Fae thing. I talked to hold on, my brain just reset. You were working with the Black Dragon, right? Not the gold. Or were you?
Natasha, let me check.
I
think I'm
okay.
his original.
I forget if you were working with
Yeah.
Natasha, or I think you were.
Yes, Natasha.
Okay, thank you. I need to write that down before I forget again. All right. Yeah, I talked to Natasha, or to her daughter at least, or I think it was her daughter. I think it may have been her. I'm not 100%. Anyway, dragons and fae, you know how oil and water are. That's kind of like dragons and fae. Anyway, so we've been worried. I'm glad to see you home. You can tell me about it in the morning, right?
Sure, can do.
Okay, good. I swear I wasn't asleep though. I was staying up to protect your house.
I appreciate that.
She kind of yawns and stops herself and looks a little chagrined, and then she like gets up and heads into the kitchen as you head up to your room to sleep. And Grunthos
falls asleep in a chair.
Happily,
no energy.
I was gonna say,
no energy left to get to my room. Just
you have a half full tankard of beer in your left hand, and you're sleeping on like your face on the table. Just
oh yeah.
All right, and morning comes. Horgold, we'll start with you. You find yourself awakened by a whisper in your head saying basically welcome back.
Do I recognize the voice?
It sounds like Simone.
Oh, thank you. I'll respond.
After a couple of minutes, he whisper. You hear another whisper. Anything to report?
We hunted down some stuff. Some how do you call it again? The
Iron Seeker.
Iron Seeker. And yeah, we just got back from that.
A couple more minutes pass. You whisper back again. Very good. Please write something up so that we're clear on everything that happened, and activate the ring to send it to me.
Yeah, sure. I write stuff up. Leave out any details of the spear, of course.
Of course. Give me deception, please, because you're not being entirely truthful. I want to know how well your story crafts itself. 13. You read it over a couple times. You think you're pretty good grasp on how to make this work out the way you want it to, and you put the rolled up scroll of writing inside the thing, hit the button on top of it, and it kind of dissolves into smoke and disappears.
I will head back to the snorting boar.
Right.
Oh wait, Holocle's house was on the way, right?
Yep. Or at least
I'll
close
stop.
enough.
Yeah, then I'll stop there first.
You arrive at Hollock Hall's house to the smell of cooking bacon and baking bread.
And I'll knock on the door and invite myself in for breakfast.
Hollock, you hear the sound of knocking at your front door.
Am I still in bed or at breakfast?
Yeah, it wakes you up.
Well, I get up and go to the door, still groggy.
Hey, good morning. It smells like breakfast is ready here.
But I have to talk to someone in private. I think it's not clever to invite you in right now.
I'll see you at the snorting board then. I will grab something to eat there. Sad face.
Hollock, you when you come back to the kitchen, you see Lupe like giving you a questioning look, like who's your friend? Who is that?
That is one of the companions who was with me hunting the Iron Seeker.
Ah. So there sounds like a whole story there that I'm super interested in. Why don't you tell me about it? And she like sets a cup of strong like black coffee and a pot of honey and cream next to it, in front of you, and there's bacon and there's eggs and there's muffins, and she starts, asking you about it and talking about it, and how candid are you with her?
Difficult for me. I think I leave out the spear, of course.
Right.
And I think I'm truthful with the whole Aurora storyline because I think I am free of her. I hope I'm free of her.
she kind of says, I mean, from what I've heard, you're never really free of the Fae. You may have, from what I know, you probably have paid back your debt. So she no longer has a hold over you. And did you tell her what Aurora's hold was over you? Just out of curiosity.
The apple thing and what was the other?
The what you promised her for the apple.
The service.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She goes, so you can probably die freely and not have to worry about servicing Aurora. I mean, that sounds wrong. Please don't die. It's not what I meant. But anyway, you probably can do that without being forced to serve with for Aurora. But the Fae have a lot of skill at pulling you back in and making it so it's very attractive to owe them a favor again. It's really hard to stay out of their clutches for very long. So, and she kind of lays. She's eating breakfast with you, and she lays her hand on your forearm and says, "Be careful, friend. You got off, if not lightly this time, at least with your soul. Just the Fae are not to be are not a thing to casually deal with."
I will try to stay clear.
She smiles at you. I'll go ahead and clean up if you want to, head to talk to your friend. I'm sure you guys have much more to do. Or maybe you can just hang out in town for a while. Who knows?
Oh, we will see. It's most time work finds us instead, the other way around.
That does seem to be the case with adventuring types. She smiles, and she's got like a dimple in her right cheek. This one for those watching, her right cheek. And she busies herself cleaning up. There's like a dozen muffins, like the nice big dome-topped muffins, have some sort of like apple fruit or some sort of fruit inside of them that she sets out. They're just done cooking as you guys are finishing up breakfast.
I think I will take those with me.
All right. Horgold, you get back to the Snorting Boar about the time that Grunthos is showing back up there. He ran an errand and returned.
I'll speak to Gruntos about, you should keep that spear a little bit of a secret. I know it's new and shiny, but it's you don't get too much attention to it.
I just, hey Horgel, look at this, and the quiver you saw me have at the beginning, not the normal one we had going after Borgel now, but my old quiver back. Just take the spear, drop it in, and it's gone.
It is in fact not gone, but only the very top, like you can just grab it with your hand a distance out of the top of the thing, and the spearhead is sticking out the top
Alongside another spearhead.
Everything else is gone just like normal inside of it.
Okay.
And if you reach in to grab whatever you want, you can freely reach past the spear and grab anything. But this spear doesn't seem to be one to be completely put into an extra dimensional space.
Hey. It's in there. As well as in there it can be.
You think it's secure, like you're not likely to run and have it fall out or anything.
Oh no.
Just cover it with this cloth or something, and will be okay.
Right. You guys head in, eat breakfast. A little while later, Hollock shows up carrying bounteous supply of muffins. They're really smell good. They're still warm, and just that crisp kind of top on them.
Yum! Just look longingly at them to see if Hollock wants to share.
Same.
I share with the group. Dig in.
I chow down. Ferociously.
Grusha, you wake up probably late in the morning After getting here so late, your husband has already left for work. Your daughter's old enough to kind of watch herself for a while. Think she's probably actually gotten herself to whatever passes for a school. So you wake up to a quiet, empty house. And it felt wonderful to be back home. And then you remember why you were so eager to go with Borghild in the first place.
Is it because there's a giant pile of dishes and laundry that need done?
Well, there's a giant pile of dishes and laundry that need done. That's like 3/4 of it. But there's also like, stuff that needs repair and broken down furniture, and the house itself is not well kept.
I do the bare minimum that needs done with dishes. So we would have dishes for tonight. And I stare at the laundry and kick it into a pile so it looks more narrow but taller. Like moving your mashed potatoes around to make it look like you ate them. And then I grunt contentedly that I got enough done. And now I have the ambition to go see if I can get some of that money that I know was taken. And I'm going to head back to the Snorting Boar.
All right. You guys at Snorting Boar, you are hanging out, talking. Probably late morning, close to noon. Grusha opens the door to the place. She is not subtle.
I look around. Are they obviously in there, like in a corner?
Oh yeah, they stick out. I mean, they're not orcs or half orcs.
Gronthos here's the dog, recognizes Grusha, and with the muffin in one hand, chowing down, just waves vigorously with the other.
I look around the room to make sure it's not a trap, and then I head over. So you did not abandon us.
I live here when I'm in town. Shrugs.
May I have food?
Without waiting for Hollock to answer, I just gesture out to the table, which is probably semi-filled with foods and drinks.
Yeah.
Eat up.
I assume I'm starving, and I grab like a double fistful and just crunk it in with no manners at all.
Yeah, that absolutely is fitting.
Kind of like me.
You're a big gal with lots of muscles. You have a good metabolism. Can I get a perception check from everybody, please? $18, $9. You guys have been rolling well today.
Not me.
Satet, I'm impressed. And Hollock. All right. Grunthos and Hollock. You guys hear outside. You guys hear a kind of a stifled scream, and then like running feet, and I think we will leave it there for the day. So we will go ahead and call it there for the day. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. We'll be back again next weekend. I'm gonna see about getting Satet a more permanent player character, or finishing up Grusha for him to play. For everybody who's watching, thank you for watching. It's been great having you here. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.